finished Flight. Now what? I have been working on it since November 2023. It is now out, available on Gumroad. This was the previous map shown all over my Tumblr, posted everywhere. This is the updated map. Now, as you can see, there are 2 points, 2 coasts, and there are names, there are new things, things you just haven't seen yet. And that means you have to read the book. The book is just, it's long. I've been working on it for a year. It's long. Since finishing it, I've been in a state of amusement where I'm just like, I finally get to chill and lay back and just relax while watching One Piece. Okay? Like, I don't have to do anything anymore. That's like my mindset. It's just like, well, no, I have other stuff to do. I have work to do. I've been working on other projects while working on Flight, Fins Above Flight. And it's like, oh, I actually think that I need to do things. Like, I've been working on Minba, trying to get some sprites going. I have a new book I want to finish. And then I have another series I want to create. And yeah, while I love Fins Above is my favorite series. Favorite series if I was a fan, but also favorite series as a writer, because it's the only thing I am able to put all my animality and hate and anger into a book and say, I think these characters really, really are complex as a person who wrote it, and also as a person who knows these characters. But I've also been getting into One Piece. I've also just been getting into One Piece a lot. So it's something where I want to go watch One Piece and I don't want to be here anymore. And I also want to watch Avatar and any other movie series and anything else, because I take inspiration from there. I take heavy inspiration from those shows and I put them into Fins Above. I really do. I put so much effort into seeing every aspect of these characters and seeing how I can do it either better or worse. But I've also been hosting conventions for people who are physically non-human, who feel as though their bodies are not of themselves and they have these feelings and these emotions, and we talk about it. I personally am this. I feel entirely from my birth that I am not human, and that's okay. And because of that, Fins Above as a series is a lot more about being non-human than it is about how non-humans interact in a human world. It's entirely about them. Because to look how far we've come from the prototypes of these creatures, this is what Fins Above was supposed to look like. And honestly, I'm ready to take these designs and maybe mess with them a little bit for future subspecies. But for now, all of this, I see all of it since 2021, from the beginning, the birth of it, where Sarga was Sarga and Olila was Olila, but everybody else wasn't there. It was just those two. And we had like different forms, the feral, the anthro, all of it. It was just me sitting there drawing on my drawing tablet in 2021, 2022, brainstorming ideas about fish, because I thought, hey, why not? People should talk about mermaids in an alien way because they're alien. I shouldn't have to sit here and, just either decide between whether or not I wanted weird mermaids or normal mermaids. No, I wanted something different. I wanted something that was alive and was like me, but also not like me in a way that it did the thing, as in cooking and cleaning and clothing and making things, but not in a way that I would do it, which makes them inherently different, because they're of a different species and everything. Everything was different about them, and that was what made me happy. When an author writes about their characters and about their species and about anything like surrounding them, they start having euphoria, because euphoria is a state of bliss, it's a state of ecstasy, it's something you see, something you feel good about. So, as I said earlier, being physically non human, I relate more to anything that is inherently alien or not human, which is why I got into the xenofiction genre in the first place. It was a way for me, if I wanted to, write about who I am and what I want. I'm not saying I am a siren or a swimmer or anything. I'm saying that it was easier for me to implement the ideas of which is in Fins Above in a genre like this, because it was me seeing the genre and being like, okay, I can write from a non human perspective because I am physically non human. And when people say physically non human, they can mean how their body appears, they could mean clinical zoanthropy, they can mean literally anything. It doesn't even have to be an illness, it can just be one day you physically feel like an animal. You just go out and you're just like, I don't like the way I'm being treated. And so, because I'm being treated like that, my body has an instinct to shut down and physically go wild. And I can't have any control over it. And even if I do learn how to control it, I still feel as though that was something that happened, that is engraved in my memory, in my body, in me forever until I die. And while it's not my fault, because I am simply a human, I am animal, I'm not separate from the food chain, I am not separate from anything, I am simply me, I am human, I am an animal, I'm a primate. Because of those instincts, I inherently feel as though I am physically not human, because humans suppress their animality. Humans cook. And in that moment, what makes you human is that you can cook. In that moment, you did not feel as though you can do anything. You have a disability. You have an inability to do anything. You physically become non human. And a lot of people share those experiences. And I've heard it and I've listened and I've sat there and I've been like, oh. And I relate, because it's not just about, you know, a one off, having instincts. Sometimes it's about how people perceive you, how you are positioned in the world. Black people usually aren't treated as people. That's just the truth. And so for me, when I am who I am not seen entirely as this or that. I am seen as another category that is able to become an animal if, quote unquote, I am let loose. If we are let loose. It's why, again, we're going to get into a little bit of politics. It's why a lot of the narrative that, not even just Republican right wings, it's every party currently sitting. It's why a lot of them have these ideas about people of color, because when it comes to them, it doesn't help them if there are people who are running quote unquote rampant in our cities and creating quote unquote hoods. They have a problem with that. And so they're not really seen as human, because they believe there's a disconnect, because they wouldn't do it. So why would they do it? Why would this group of people who are not of their group do it? And they don't entirely understand, Democrats and Republicans and right wing and left wing and all other parties. They don't really understand it because they've never actually gone. They've never actually lived there. It's so easy to say that you love all Americans, but never actually experience it, because most of the time, when the people who do experience it, they still have unpacked trauma, so they can never actually speak about it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And so for me, I don't exactly have trauma of, never being seen as a person. I think it was more of, I never was, I was always seen to exist in a place where I have to get ahead of everybody else because I'm black. My name, legal first name, is considered a white name because I am supposed to, by my mother's words, be ahead of everybody before they look at my skin color. I am not a person. I was not named entirely because I needed a name, but because I needed to be ahead because of my skin color, quote unquote, holding me back. That makes me feel as though I am not a human. I am a tool. I am supposed to make somebody else look good. I'm supposed to make somebody else, feel good. So that's how I relate a little bit. And depending on how much I say now, it also comes from both sides of my family, where I am tied inherently to the Haitian side because of the magic and all that, and then I'm tied to my father's side because of all, like, they can speak the ghosts and talk the ghosts, and it's like mediumship and it's all that, and it's like, okay, so I am inherently tied to both sides, despite both sides being leaning into Christian, which they would definitely call these practices witchcraft. I say all this to ring in the point of what I am doing in my spare time, what I've been doing the entire time. Why I haven't posted in 6 months. I have been going on a journey of magic, of figuring myself out, of getting my license, of getting out of the house, of detoxing from the internet. I've just been gone, and maybe that's good a little bit, but 6 months is fine. Okay? 6 months, it's fine. I'm not going to disappear forever. I'll come back. I'll come back. I've always come back. I just think, disappearing just for a teensy little bit, just to work on these projects, just to work on these new things, would help. It would fix me. What the kids say now, it would fix me. It would fix me. Slay. Queen Boss or something. I don't know. These people are weird. But it would fix me. I've been posting on Tumblr. If you want to see more stuff, I've been posting on Tumblr. If you want to see my art that I occasionally do, that is for adults, I post on my Telegram channel. If you want to see just videos, if you want to see more things, if you want to see updates, go to my Instagram. I'm usually active on Instagram or Tumblr. Everywhere else, I've deleted most of my social media, except Discord. Everything else I don't have. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have anything. I don't even use YouTube, really. I've switched to NewPipe, and I don't think you can upload videos from there. So I've switched everything to just a simple life, and I just want to write. I just want to earn money by writing, which is what I'm trying to do. And it becomes difficult because authors usually don't earn that much. Artists usually don't earn that much. But I'm both. So even if I don't earn that much, I'm still earning. I'd still have plans fulfilled. I'd still have money. So it's why I write. It's one reason, money, so I can survive, so I can fill my fridge that is very loud, or I can, not starve because there's people feeding me, of course. I'm still alive, but after a while you realize that there won't be people feeding you because they might have problems and they might have things they cannot do all the time, which is why I'm trying to step up. And I typically cannot work fast food jobs, which is easy money, because my heart murmur, which messes up with my breathing because I can't put enough air in my body to match the rate my heart is beating at. Even when I'm sitting right now, it's going. And it's it's not because of my weight. I've always had it. I was always like this. Me having it probably worsened, it probably worsened my weight. It probably, slowed me down. And so I'm not as fast. I'm not as this and that. I'm not as productive. I'm not as big, but I'm still a bit suffering. And there's nothing I can really do because they call it benign, even though it affects everything else. And it would be nice. I don't need a diagnosis, but it would be nice if someone can stop calling everything I experience benign and unimportant and harmless. Because at some point, when are we gonna just start doing that for everyone and then blame said person for having the issue? Because we already start doing that. And honestly, I don't think I want to enter an age where, because I have my own, technically, this is my own little setup, my own, quote unquote, business, that means I'm lazy and I don't want to work for anybody else. I don't. That's the truth. I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to work for myself. The reason why I did self-publishing is because I wanted to be my own boss. I could do my own times. I could market. I can do everything. I'm very internet savvy. But I also don't want to sit behind a computer every day. I want to promote, and then I want to have a community. I want to build something. I want to be more than just the dude who keeps your website up. I want to be more than just the person who sits behind the computer and makes sure that your website isn't DDoSed. Who rewrites the code? I don't want to be those people. I don't. That's why I'm writing. And I don't want to be those writers that are best selling. I want to be an indie writer and I want to give to the community. I don't want to just sit here and take and take and take and take and do business deals with horrible companies and horrible corporations for them to take it just because. Now, I'm not saying it has to be easy, but I'm saying I don't want to die doing it. I'm seeing my father push himself to the limits. I'm seeing my mom stress herself out. I'm seeing everybody in my family stress themselves out to do this thing, to build a community, to have something, because everything else has been taken away from them. And while I feel ashamed just sitting here and not helping, I feel like in some capacity, I will help. I don't know how, but I will. I These books have to work. This art has to work. I have to prove them wrong. They hold no malice towards me. They don't hate me, disdain, or anything. Just because I am who I am. I am this. But they say that art is not a job. It's not something you can, live off of. They say that I'm going to be a starving artist. And it's like, yeah, maybe I am. But I definitely am not going to be homeless. I'm not. I'm always going to have a place where I can come back. And right now, I know that it's true because I'm constantly building relationships. I have friends. I have people to talk to. I have family. I have people I haven't talked to in maybe, what, 2 months. I have things. I've done things. That doesn't mean I'm deserving of a place to stay, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna be on the street. I'm not gonna be a starving artist. I'm not going to be on the street. And there's no shame if I ever am. But I don't think that's in the cards for me. See, my dad had a dream. He was he wanted to be an artist. It runs in our family. Art runs in our family, usually my dad's side. But he just didn't have enough vigor because to him, art was never a job. It wasn't going to get him anywhere. And so now he breaks his back doing something he has been doing for the past, what, maybe 2 decades? A decade? And I can only sit here and say, man, you need a break. But he won't take a break. And so I feel compelled. I feel ashamed because I'm taking his dream away from him. Because I'm showing him that there is a way to do it. That there is a way to do it. I feel sad because he doesn't get to do it now. He has to put all that energy into me. Same thing with my mom. So, sitting here, it's just like, I get to have an easy way out while they get to sit there. And there's nothing you can really do about that because they've already put it in their cards. They've been doing this for over a decade. There's nothing I can do except do what I want to do. Which, if it has to be a starving artist, I'll do. If it has to be anything else, I'll do it. Again, I've been gone for 6 months. But I'll be back, and I'll probably have a few more projects. Everything I listed in here, everything I talked about in here is probably it's what I'm doing, and I might finish it. There's just look out for anything on my Tumblr. All of it's by the name of this Zenve. Tumblr, Instagram. If you know me on Discord. But I don't have anything else. This is the only thing I have. Like, I'm saying it as if this is like a grim reality, but it kind of is. I don't have anything else. I don't have any offers. I don't have any people who will just hire me. It's just me. I'm not sad about it. I'm actually happy to write. I love writing. But I think I'm just scared of what will happen when I stop. And if I do stop, then, well, I just finished Fins Above Flight. Now, what? What do I do? Am I just gonna be in a cycle forever of, writing another book for a year and not earning any money because people don't like my books, even though I've put time into it? And I don't know why. I do everything right. But am I missing something? Do I not have enough? Do I not have a movie? Do I not have, deals? Am I just not worthy of getting enough money to feed myself? Now what? I finished Fins Above Flight. So now what? I don't know.